Welcome back to the workshop. Not going to be doing, well, I am going to be doing a bit of turning, but I'm not going to be turning a thing today. I'm going to be modifying a tool. Now, I got this tool at Harrogate from the Agile store, off of John, and it's 31mm by 8mm scraper. And if we switch to that camera, it obviously works as a scraper, but I'm never using this edge at all. So I thought, why don't I sharpen that as well? And then I can flip the tool over. So instead of scraping that way, I flip the tool over and scrape with this edge. Make a box scraper. The other thing I want to do is I want to put it into one of my handles. And the handles are obviously made for round tools. It doesn't work very well. So we're going to fix that as well. So I've already drawn some lines on here of the bits of the tang that need to go to get this tube to go further up. This is one of the adapters I designed. It's made by a good friend of mine, Alex, and sold by Mark Beckett, the gentleman woodturner. I'll put a link to it down in the description. But it's for bar tools. And with this tube, I can make it a bar tool. And I can change my handles. Or possibly more importantly, I can take them out of the handles and carry them easier when I'm going demonstrating and stuff. So, let's get on with it. Okay, so I have a Tormek, which I use for most of my sharpening, but I kept my Pro Edge. Pro Edge is extremely good for roughing out tools, taking off metal where you need to get rid of metal in a higher quantity. So in order to make this work, I am going to lose a little bit here, so it will make it a fraction smaller, but that's all good. So that's the edge shaped, and you can't see, that's the edge shaped. So I'm looking over my shoulders where the cameras are. I've just nipped that corner off, just so it doesn't catch on the bottom. I'm going to nip it off a fraction more than that. But I've got two scrapers in one now. So let's address the handle issue. So I'm going to use my sanding disc that I made in a previous video and just take those edges off a little bit. So I'm just going to put you on pause and let that cool down naturally. I also decided it's time to treat myself to a new sanding disc. Blunt abrasive generates more heat. I'm sure some of your shops have got better metal processing facilities than I do. This is what I've got, this is what I use. So that fits the tube nicely. What I've got to do now is use some epoxy to fix it all together. Now you want your tube to be nice and straight on there. So what I've done at the bottom, so I've used a couple of wedges, just little wooden wedges, to hold that bit straight. Lined everything up. Put a little bit of glue in here, not fill it up. I've got some tape around there just to stop it from running out. But hopefully it'll grab it before that. If I let that little bit of glue set, then I'll pull the wedges out or cut them off, whichever works best. and then fill the whole thing up properly. So I'm just using a 2-part epoxy adhesive. That'll be more than strong enough for this job. I'm just going to let it run down into the tube. Put my wedges in and put it all straight. Visually straight's good enough, but you can put a square on it if you want, but I find that that's fine. And that should harden off in about 20 minutes. I can take the wedges out. If they're stuck in there, I'll just cut them off and work around them. And refill the rest of the tube with more epoxy. Okay, some time has elapsed, and as you can see, I glued a piece of tube over my tang, and I built some glue, so I've had to sand the outside to get the glue off. But that doesn't hurt. I might even put some varnish on it and keep it that way. Now, this is the component that connects it to a handle. It's something I designed. It's got 2 grub screws, and made by a friend of mine, Alex, and sold by Mark Beckett. I'll put a link to that link to them in the description. But you take that, you put it in the handle, you slip your now round tube covered tang into the handle, and you have a handle tool. And of course you can modify the handles. You have different size handles. This handle is actually off of one of my gouges. I might make a handle and stick it on at high speed at the end. Let's have a look at this tool itself. So, as you can see, that's the scraper as I bought it. Mine's a bit off to this corner, so it's a little bit shorter. If I flip it over, I've now got a box scraper on this edge. So I've got a universal tool, 2-directional tool. Let's see if it works. So, same piece of wood. So I showed the original scraper, mine has a handle on originally. I would say that makes a good scraper. So now all we've got to do, flip it upside down, and we should have a box scraper. Now it's just got that corner rounded off. It's a bit dusty that, but maybe I haven't sharpened it properly. It's got that corner rounded off, just enough to get it into the bottom there. Spot on. So there's a tool. I've doubled the uses of it. Obviously that will shorten the life of it because you're sharpening it on two different sides. But neither of these scrapers get used massively, and they get sharpened with a card most of the time, so that's not really going to make any difference at all. Most impressive bit, I think, is getting it into the tool handle with a round bar on a square ferrule. That piece of wood is full of woodworm. Let's have a go at the scraper, shall we? This is not a negative rake, so I've gone above centre. I lift the handle. Okay, this doesn't make sense. This was chosen to test the tool with, and you can see the woodworm here. It's all around here. But there's a bit of burr in this wall here. Turn that around. There's a bit of burr in here, and it's quite a pretty little piece of wood. So I'm going to waste some time and fix it. And I've put some mess on it at the moment to show the grain and also kill any woodworm that might still be in there, but I don't think there is. So the plan is some El Cheapo little two-part epoxy, some bronze metal powder, a nice mixing tray, keep that central of the camera, and shouldn't be doing this, I've got other real work to get on with, but hey, it's fun. Same epoxy I use for the handle, by the way. So give that a good mix in its normal mode. Little teaspoon which I did not steal from the, well, I might have stolen it from the kitchen. But anyway, it's now a workshop spoon. Good bit of bronze powder on there and just mix it in. Chosen this because the colour sort of a little bit like that burr that's on there. I'm sure this reduces the working time. I'm also sure it removes any structural integrity of the glue. So it's supposed to still hold 2 tons. This stuff is supposed to hold 2 tons. I don't believe that for 1 minute. I certainly wouldn't be hanging from it. But once you put this in it, yeah, all of that's gone out the window. But it's only being used as a filler. So who cares? Spread it across. Try and push it into those wormholes. Those are called 5-minute epoxy. It does not mean that you can work it in 5 minutes. It means you can work it for 5 minutes. It then needs about between half an hour and 24 hours to dry, depending on the application. One up on the side there. And a couple over this side. Same as all filling, you're looking to overfill and then cut back to the finish. Give that a while to dry now. Common sense says I should wait until tomorrow to do this. And I should sand it rather than cut it. But who needs common sense? Yeah, that bit on the rim I'm going to sand off. I'm not going to cut that. Yeah, you can still see it's woodworm holes filled with black or bronze resin. And as I sanded down, I started to expose more as well. So this is scrap, but hey, I knew that when I started. But put some finish on it just for the hell of it. Usual routine. Maple syrup. Which is vanishing as soon as I put it on the wood. It's that absorbent. You get a touch of the old web racks. Okay, this is actually the third and final coat of Hampshire Sheen high gloss finishing wax. I didn't bother to film the earlier ones because well, I did film them, but I'm not going to include them. Because I always do 3 coats, but I normally just show the first one. So I thought this time I'd do it the other way around. The wax is on. You give this one a couple of minutes to dry off. I'll set you on pause for a couple of minutes because it's better if it's just dried off a little bit. Oh, that makes a nice piece of firewood. You see the burr coming up through there. Unfortunately, woodworm hole, although it's filled with bronze and obscured, is there. You can see it, which is expected. So, this is pretty, but it is firewood. So I'm going to say thank you very much for watching. The bowl has nothing to do with it. The tool was, so I've taken a French curve, 1.25 inches, I think, wrong camera. French curve, 1.25 inches, scraper. Made a cylinder on the end of it so I can put it into a removable handle. And I've flipped it over and I've made a box scraper on this edge so that I've got 2 scrapers out of 1 piece of steel. So that's it. Thanks for watching and cheers for now.